Meditation, intimate experiences with the divine through contemplative practices. A common sentient series by Sacred Stories Publishing. The quieter you become, the more you're able to hear. Rumi. A time to choose. We find ourselves right now in the age of great transformation.
Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to the next normal. Lots of good wishes, pure feelings. I'm your host, Sister Jenna.
These are
and I have made a promise for the next 3 months to God to not get disturbed.
Have spoken about.
Why?
Mankind
because today's
has
topic is all about emotional intelligence, where humility is your saving grace.
Of course.
I'm looking forward for us to dive into this conversation today because it is so needed in these times. When we look at all the conflict and the wars that are taking place in our world, you ask yourself, what is the reason for this? What is the reason for intelligent, educated, so-called civilized people to make decisions to launch missiles on each other? I'm appealing to every leader in the world. It is such an old language, and if you think that is the only way to move forward in life or to create some sort of a power, I just can't understand the disconnect that is happening between you and your maker. There's something about the energy of arrogance and the energy of ego, and I'd like to break it down as simplistic as I possibly can. Ego is an attachment recorded in your consciousness of a limited perception of yourself. Ego is an attachment to a limited perception of the self. Ego is an attachment to a false identity. Ego is an attachment to a belief system that is very mundane. So now think, when two people are in a war room trying to decide what to do, is it the ego that is making ideas or sharing ideas or thinking? Or is it the humility and the worth of the soul thinking about the well-being of others and not the fact that they're safe? Leaders of nations and countries are safe. They have their bunkers, they have their underground places, they've got their militaries, they've got security guards. So imagine when you have that awareness in your consciousness, I'm okay. My spouse and my kids and my in-laws and my friends and colleagues and people who work close to me or who are big donors or influencers, the people with a lot of money have the ego of their money. There's nothing they can't do. They influence the leaders as well of countries that are running them because of my money, because of my position, because I'm helping with your GDP. All of these thoughts are coming from the ego of the intellect, not from a divya buddhi, not from a divine intellect. Again, I ask you, and this is even for you in your own families, in your own homes, at your workplace, is it the ego that's speaking to the other partner? Is it your ego that is speaking to a colleague at work, a relative in the family, a stranger on the streets? Or is it your self-worth and self-respect? What we're witnessing in the world today is the fighting and the competition between egos. It's not between God's children. God's children have no reason to fight or to wage war on each other. If they do have a difference, they speak to each other with respect to say, well, you know, I really don't think I can go where you're going. Could you please give me some of your oranges? I only have apples and I don't want any more apples. I have too many apples. Would you at least like to take some of my apples? then I could still take some of your oranges and we can work out a deal here. So it's very, very important to recognize that any conflict is actually a competition of egos. The ego of the intellect will always be a selfish agenda. What's in it for me? What do I want, despite the way that you're going to feel? I don't care about you. I'm safe. I've got a bunker, I've got a military, I've got soldiers, I've got so-and-so supporting me, so-and-so's got my back, so-and-so's funding me. I don't need you. That's the way of an ego intellect. That's not a divine intellect. That's not a divya buddhi. That's not an emotionally evolved person, actually. I just want you to imagine sitting in those war rooms. And if Baba, which is God's light, which belongs to all of us, I just want you to imagine for a minute. You're sitting in a war room, and Baba enters that room. And then everybody in their war rooms in all of their countries have invited Baba in the room. It's as if everyone has had a near-death experience and they feel the energy of God's love speaking through them in the war room. What would be the decision? How would it turn out? It definitely wouldn't be what we're seeing today. In Sudan, they've been fighting for over a year. Over 8 million people have been displaced or died. I'm only saying this to you because I'd like to outline what ego does. It hurts. It doesn't heal. And to have the emotional intelligence to recognize that your humility is an expression of God's truth and God's love in action. Wow, golden age exists, I tell you. So when I'm in my arrogant form, some of my behaviors, I don't think about the feelings of other people. 1. Number 2, I'll isolate myself from people. It's interesting, right? Number 3, the ego will think it's superior to someone, or the ego will feel it's inferior to someone. I'm not better than this one. I'm not good enough. That's your ego. Another form of ego, I'm better than you. Who are you to tell me anything? It creates conflict. It creates division. It creates fear. It creates loss. Nobody wins when both are fighting with ego. When there's ego, there will be disturbance of your conscience, of your heart, of your inner kingdom. It's like an earthquake that goes off inside of you, and all your treasures get buried below. You don't even remember what you've lost as a result of that. The ego that exists in the world today is in each and every one of us. Each of us have a different capacity, a different percentage. No need to compete with anyone's ego. We're all infected by it. I'm infected by the ego of wearing my sari. I'm infected with the ego of being Brahma Kumaris Sister Jenna. I might be infected with the ego of being a woman. I might be infected with being on the path of spirituality for so many years. I might even have the ego of, I've experienced so much, you haven't even begun. It's all ego. It's not true. It's not real. The reality is, I am playing a role of Sister Jenna with the Brahma Kumaris. The reality is, over 30 years ago, I made a decision, or a decision was made for me, and I ended up putting away my designer clothes for a 7-yard piece of white material called a sari. And it seems subtle, but I ask you to think about what is the making of a person's consciousness who wakes up every day and never thinks about what they're wearing that day. I can't begin to tell you. I used to wake up thinking about how this would match, what name brand, what shoe, what jewelry, how I was going to wear my hair, what car I was going to get into. All ego-driven, I tell you. And I loved my ego, especially in those days. Was I going to get into my BMW, my Jaguar, the Mercedes? How was I going to look that day? All being driven by ego. And if for whatever reason you ruined the car, you ruined the outfit, the wind blew my hair out of place, whatever it is, I would be so hurt because it's an illusion that I'm feeding that I want to have in my life for a long time. But the destiny says anything fed with arrogance will not last. And that's why when two people, two nations have an arrogant competition between each other, conflict and enemies are created. But there's another way. We all want the same thing: freedom, respect, love, peace of mind, happiness, wisdom. We all want the same thing. We might go about it in different ways, but I need it. I don't even want those things. To be very honest with you, my friends, I need those things in my life. I need them to keep me alive on this planet. I need those experiences to remind me of my purpose being here. And they are humbling qualities. When you are filled with those experiences and that comes out of your personality, you are a very humble person. Your humility reveals your emotional depth and your emotional intelligence. A humble person can take a beating and still keep smiling. A humble thing or example is like a mango tree. It keeps getting pelted and it still gives mangoes. And how sweet are those mangoes in India and Jamaica. I need to be loved and to give love. I need to give respect to somebody. I can't survive if I don't respect somebody. It kills the spirit if you don't give respect to another person. But I also need to feel the respect from others too. I aim to maintain my joy, to keep as happy as I can, because I know I'm creating a sanskar for my future. I'm creating my karmic legacy by offering these behaviors, these thoughts, this intention, these feelings within my spirit. A humble person is a needed person of these times. What has created division and fear and loss and greed and jealousy and competition and judgment and anger and rage and violence is the ego of the intellect. The selfishness of our spirit, the lack of compassion for another, but the lack of compassion for self. You've got to develop the ability to accept love heals. You've got to develop the understanding in your intellect. You must develop the belief system that you are worthy to be loved. To love yourself is to be gentle and kind. It's a humble thing to do on oneself. Now, when you've got ego of the self, you will not be kind to yourself, and then you won't be kind to others. But if you have a humble heart, you will be gentle with your nature. You will be forgiving and accepting. You will forgive yourself for the shortcomings that emerge ever so often in a day. A humble person wins the game at the end. The humble person wins God's heart. The humble person has friends all over the world. Everywhere they go, they will make a friend. A humble person will not wait on the other person to say sorry. They are so full, they don't lose anything by apologizing first, even though they might not have anything to apologize at that moment. But maybe in some previous incarnation, they're catching up in their apologies. A humble person is rich in spirit. When you live with a humble person, you feel safe. They're dependable. You can rely on a humble person. When somebody's humble, they're sincere, compassionate, they're open, they're secure. It is your connection to God the Supreme that will give you the experience of a love that heals. No matter what it is you're going through, your connection to Baba, to God, to Shiva, Jehovah, Paramatma, that intimate connection between you, the soul, and God heals the soul from its ego illness, and it fills the soul with humility and light. Let's go for a meditation right now and go into this experience of healing the soul. Take a deep breath.
Om Shanti. In life, sometimes certain situations emerge uninvited. An illness, for example, some can be quite crucial, and some a mere inconvenience, but it's all going to be okay. And with this mantra of Om Shanti, you will experience your mind and the cells in your body to begin to vibrate with more peace and ease and healing. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed and make yourself comfortable, either seated or lying down. Keep your eyes gently open and take a deep breath in. Feel the air filling your lungs. Breathe out. Breathe in again. Breathe out. Keep breathing in deeply until you feel yourself relaxing. Begin to repeat the mantra Om Shanti silently to yourself. Repeat it over and over again, letting the vibrations of the sound fill your mind and body. As you repeat the mantra, imagine all negative thoughts or feelings being released. Imagine them leaving your body and mind, replaced with calm and peace and healing. Continue repeating the mantra for as long as you like, letting the sound and the visualization work together to bring you peace and healing. we will begin our mantra. Shanti. 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 Shanti.
That mantra too of Om Shanti is such a healer, isn't it? Did you feel how your soul shifted a little or a lot? Love heals, love wins. Humility is a sentient experience. Humility makes you feel your true selves. Santosh, what would the awakened intelligence say by chance, if there's anything there about what are the benefits of humility or what is humility? Can you type it in and see? I'd be curious to see if there's anything there that comes up from our awakened intelligence. Is it there? Being humble can be a profound personal and interpersonal strength, offering several benefits. Growth and learning. Humility allows individuals to recognize that they don't know everything and that there's always room for learning. Relationships. Humility fosters healthier relationships by enabling individuals to admit mistakes and listen to each other, and puts the needs of others ahead of their own when appropriate. With leadership, humility, a humble leader are often the most effective because they are seen as approachable and fair. They're willing to share credit and acknowledge the contribution of others, which can enhance them. Team loyalty and motivation. Oh, I love that. Resilience. Being humble helps individuals maintain a balanced perspective on their own importance in the grand scheme of things. Adaptability. Humility involves acknowledging that one's knowledge and abilities have limitations. Reputation. Humility can enhance a person's reputation, making them more likable and respected in both personal and professional contexts. Look at all the benefits of humility, everyone. Inner peace. Humility can contribute to a sense of inner peace, reducing the need to constantly compare oneself unfavorably with others or strive for unreachable perfection. Whoa. Have you gotten it now, everyone? Practice more humility so that you can develop all of these fortunate things that come as a result of that. So let's listen to what Baba's saying with the Avyak message, which is the subtle signals of how to get along with each other. Today is, okay, when you prepare, here it is. A spiritual person means to be someone whose nature and sanskars are liked by many. The majority of you are definitely liked by at least 95% of your friends and relatives, but to be liked by everyone means you remain light with others. Let that lightness be experienced through your words, actions, and attitude. Let your actions and attitude transform people. For this, imbibe the power to tolerate. Although a soul may be influenced by the company of someone else, keep giving your cooperation of being light with others. No one's impure or waste personality should ever affect you. This is one of our points of today of how to get along. Don't you love that? So let's go online and let's see who's here. Good morning, Shobha. Very nice to meet you. Hello, Anita, Sunita. Very happy to see all of you. Jyotika, nice to have you. Certified locally. Good to have you. Divya Baba, Om Shanti. Senthilbai, we hope to see you this Sunday at the ashram. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Good to see you, Zukuzu. Grace, Om Shanti, all the way in Colombia, I believe, or Bolivia, I believe. Hi, Anita. Hey, Yvonne. I hope today's class gave some enlightenment. And Madhavi, all the way in India. Nice to have all of you on as a family connection. Ushaben, welcome. What took you so long to get on this morning? Hi, Beth. Om Shanti. Beth, doesn't this remind you of our days during the pandemic when we all just met as a family of community members and friends, just sharing our journey? And now we start the morning off on the right note. It's such a beautiful thing. Today is our beautiful little sister in Switzerland's birthday, Summer. Summer, we're wishing you all the very best. Everybody extend their beautiful blessings to Summer for her birthday today. Send her all your blessings and good wishes. She's a little Shiv Shakti, a spiritual warrior, an emissary of light. And I'll tell you, one of our future younger ones with purpose. So Samar, on behalf of all of us today, I want you to know you are so loved, respected, and trusted. You've got a good heart. You're courageous, you're beautiful. You take care of everyone. You are God's chosen angel. Continue to keep serving the lives of everyone you come in connection with, and keep making the world brighter. Happy birthday to you, dear one. Very big happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on a very, very important topic, the topic of our emotional intelligence to become humble souls, souls that are filled with God's love. Remember, if you want to break your attachment, practice loving everyone the same. I guarantee it. You'll feel so liberated. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Have you been feeling overwhelmed, stressed, out of balance lately? Do you crave for a pocket of peace and tranquility in your busy life, but you struggle to find the time or space? Then we have the perfect solution for you. Meditation on Wheels. It's an RV sanctuary traveling in the metropolitan Washington D.C. area, offering transformative meditation experiences. It's a movable oasis of calm at your doorstep. Book us today to come to your business, school, government space, or event. Why? We bring the calm to you. meditationonwheels.com